Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Life Well Lived by Amabala Stephen. It's an engaging and enlightening talk show on life, relationships, and the business of life. Grab a cup of juice and just chill. Life Well Lived by Amabala Stephen. Live life. Live fully.
Hi, once again, my name is Amabala Stephen. Welcome to Life Well Lived by Amabala Stephen. Now, we want to talk about thoughts. We people tell us that thoughts, determines the outcomes of our life. How true is this? I have a guest on today's show who's going to be doing justice on today's topic about our thoughts, the processes, and the outcomes. She is Beata Severyn-Reid. She's a life coach and an international speaker. Welcome with me on Life Well Lived by Amabala Stephen, Beata Severyn-Reid.
Thank you so much, Mobola. I'm so excited to be on your show. It's truly an honor. And this topic that we are gonna talk about today, it's so important because when we are born, we have no thoughts. We have thoughts, but everything is so exciting, yes, when we're growing up with, oh my gosh, world is so wonderful. And then we have our surroundings, our environment that is starting to put on us the certain frames. This is how we're supposed to think, how we're supposed to behave. So we are not free anymore in our thinking. So who is the number one authority in our life when we are growing up? Our parents, our grandparents, our family, teachers, coaches, and we love them so much, but unfortunately, very often they do a lot of harm to our thoughts because we are, like I mentioned, we are not free anymore. We want to be loved. Love and belonging is two number one needs that people need, and especially kids. If I want to be loved by my parents, if I want to be accepted by my friends, I have to behave in a certain way. I have to think in a certain way. So we just giving away our true identity that we were born with. So where the thoughts are born, yes? So first, they are born in our environment. So why I'm so fascinated about thinking and I'm a change and transition coach, and originally I come from Poland. I'm living in the United States for, my goodness, past years already. And and why I'm fascinating about the change and transition, because it's where the thinking comes to. It's where we are getting stopped because of our stories, because of the thoughts that we were taught or created in our own head, because change is scary, yes, it's unknown. And we were, from the little children, from the little kids, we were taught that unknown is not good. You stay where you are, because I remember myself when I was always fascinating about traveling, and my parents, they were excited, but it's like, oh, are you sure it's not safe out there? It's not safe out there. So at the beginning, I created the story that if I go somewhere, something bad is gonna happen. So I was afraid of change. But the desire inside me was bigger than the fear that I was feeling. So I was starting putting my foot out the frame that I was in. And it's like, oh, actually, it's not that bad. So it's what I do with my clients as a change and transition coach. I'll help them to stretch the comfort zone. And
that's right.
Yes, like, oh my goodness, if I could do this today, this one small step, and nothing bad happened. So if I do the next step, maybe it's gonna be even better. So step by step, we teach them how to achieve and follow their dreams.
Oh, great. Thank you so much for that. Now, where do thoughts come from?
Like I mentioned, I think already, from our environment.
Okay, let's do it this way. How can one's thinking impact outcomes?
Well, the first question would be, just look around yourself. It's what I ask my clients. Look around yourself. Do you like where you are in your life? Do you like the people around you? Do you like your job? Is it what you dreamed about? Because if not, it means that there are some thoughts, there are some stories in you that are keeping you small. So your thoughts impacts your outcomes. If you don't like your outcomes, there is some work to do. And where do we start this work? Inside. We have to dive deep in our souls. But let's go to the beginning. I mentioned that the thoughts first come from our environment, but then when we grow up, they are just in our mind, and mind is connected to heart. So there is thought that creates feelings, and feelings create actions. If your thought is negative, you're gonna feel bad. If you feel bad, you won't take actions. You will feel paralyzed, afraid, you will overthink, overanalyze, and eventually you'll think, oh, it's what my life is about. I just cannot, it's just me. I'm sure you hear many.
That's right. That means that's why we have to be very careful with our thoughts and what we allow into us.
Absolutely. That's why also who you are surrounded with is very important.
And the environment.
Yes, I think Zig Ziglar said that your 5 people, the 5 closest people that you are surrounded with will tell you, just look at them and they will tell you where you're gonna be next year, in 5 years, 10 years. Because if they are not keeping you growing, if they are not keeping you reach for higher levels because they are scared, because their thinking is small,
that's right,
you're just gonna become the same way. So be very selective. Be selective who you surround yourself with. Be selective with your thoughts. Like you mentioned, Omobola, you mentioned, be careful what thoughts you are letting in. What do you listen to? Who are you surrounding with? What are you reading? What TV? What you watching on TV? Because it's all creates the stories in our minds that most of the time, 90%, the researchers are saying 90% of our population is living in a negative energy. They are so negative, and
that's right.
Just thinking about what bad can happen instead, oh my gosh, what cool can happen if whatever dream you have and you start taking actions.
I understand. That's right. So let's talk rumination. Does the advantage or the disadvantage outweighs the advantage? Let's talk rumination here.
In my opinion, from my own experience, rumination is disadvantage, because it means that we are focusing over and over and over again on the same thoughts, which are not positive. Most of the time they are negative. Let's bring up the simple example. Let's say you are working, you got to work, and your boss called you to his office or her office and is giving you feedback. Not every boss is a leader. I have to highlight it. So his feedback or her feedback sometimes is not constructive. It's just not. And you don't know what to do with it. You feel attacked. You don't have, maybe you don't have opportunity to explain. He or she is just saying, put yourself together. I need more of, you're here to work. I need to see the results. It's what you do is just not working. Like, do something with it, and you have no chance to explain why, because maybe you know the reasons, because you're doing your job, why something is not working. Anyway, so you leave the office, you go to your own office or your employees, and this negative experience what you just had is affecting your mood. So you are anxious, upset, you start throwing stuff away. Everyone is, your customers, maybe customer is not really complaining, is asking you for advice. And why do I have to do it? Why they don't respect me?
Transferred aggression.
Right, exactly. Aggression is great word, because you felt attacked. So now you are reacting instead of responding. Reacting versus responding is the key. because when we react, our thoughts are getting more and more inspired, like in spiral, like I just wanna fight, it's in protection. On the other hand, I want to protect myself, but you don't control. And when you respond, you are aware of your thoughts and say, okay, maybe the boss had a bad day, but I don't have to let it infect me. I don't have to take it personally. I'm just gonna look what I can do and bring solution. So that's the simple example how the thinking works. We can get upset, and the rumination is disadvantage because it keeps us in the frame of anger, overthinking, overanalyzing, and reaction instead of respond.
All right, thank you so much for that. You emigrated from Poland to US, so I want to know about your experience and the transition.
Absolutely. Well, I don't think that is what you expect. It was terrible. It was scary. It was, oh my gosh, it was more that I could imagine, because my thoughts, again, I created the stories that where I was, it was better, right? Because, our human mind is born the way that we like to feel safe. And when we approach new territories, it's unsafe, it's unknown. And, it's fun. It's kind of funny, but when I came, I thought that my English is awesome. And, all these different accents, people from all kinds of all around the world. And I was like, oh my gosh, I don't know what they are saying. So I was like, can you repeat? And I was ashamed of it. So my story was at the beginning that I'm less, that I don't belong to, that I should stay where I was before. But then I have to elevate that thought. I had to go inside of me and make a decision. You have two choices. You can grow or you can stay stuck in where you are. And I decided that I am here to grow, and
that's right.
Stop me.
That's it. And whatever you tell the universe, it brings to you.
Absolutely. And what I think Buddha said, what we think all day about, thought after thought, it's what we become. And I decided that I want to become more than my thoughts, because I care, because I'm worthy.
No, great. So how important is self-awareness to an individual that is struggling with having a healthy relationship with herself?
Self-awareness is the number one key to clarity. And without clarity, there is no life. Because if you don't know where you're going, if you don't know where you are, the rumination is going to come. Overthinking, overanalyzing, and self-pity, victim mind. And when you are self-aware, when you are clear, you can start planning your next steps. It's going to take you out of the box.
That's right.
It's going to take you out of the self-prison, because we are self-prisoners sometimes entire life. And what is the prison? Our mindset.
Oh, thank you so much. It's been well lived. Excuse me. It's been well lived by Mobile Stephen. I've been hanging around, with Beata Severyn-Reid. She's a life coach and also an international speaker. Beata, I want to ask you, did you have any projects you're working on?
Projects, yes. My main project is my mastermind group, The Next Step, because we were talking about the entire our conversation, that we get stuck in where we are and we are afraid of the next step. So I'm creating my mastermind and helping people, helping women especially, to go out of their comfort zone, to take the next step towards their dreams and their desires. Because again, you deserve it. You are worthy. Live the life you want.
That's right.
My final thought, it would be, do not let people without a vision to tell you that yours is impossible. It's possible that they are wrong. And then what? Go after your dreams.
Right. Thank you so much. Go after your dream. That's a great line. Thank you so much, Beata, for coming on the show. I hope some other time we can do this again.
Absolutely, my pleasure.
All right, it's a pleasure also. It's been Lawali Bamabala Stephen. Thank you for hanging around with me on the show. Let's do this some other time. Till I come your way next time, I need you to stay safe always and remember
Ladies and gentlemen, you are listening to Life Well Lived by Amabala Stephen. It's an engaging and enlightening talk show on life, relationships, and the business of life. Grab a cup of juice and just chill. Life Well Lived by Amabala Stephen. Live life. Live fully.